The Merchant's Tale. Once upon a time, there was a knight named January. Justinius Placebo, the only friend who I do trust. I, January, am but an old knight of 60 years, who once was young and filled with lust, but now am old and filled with fears, that my iron heart will fall to rust. I wish to serve our God above, sire and heir, and find a wife, fill my winter years with love, and live a holy, pious life. Placebo took his master's words and said to him that he had learned. For him to ask for his advice was really quite absurd, for it was he, his lovely lord, whose God's favor he had earned. Truly all that he could do was repeat what he had heard. But to this replied Justinius, who could never steal another's thoughts, for it was his nature to be incredulous, and from others learn and wrought. While you grow tired and grow frail, your wife will still be in her spring years. She might love you, soothe your ails, she may be the one to wipe your tears, but she will surely be the warden to your mortal jail. Think carefully as to who you give your name, for many times I have cried, for my wife is oh so terrible. I would hate for you to lose your land, so only do the same. If you must marry, at least find a woman who is bearable, and be prepared for pain, for love is a losing game. Is this all you have to say to me? Said January to his squire. All you do is repeat and buzz on like a bee. Now, Placebo, I must inquire. Should I marry or should I stay free? And of course Placebo chose to preach upon the choir, saying it would be unfair to stop a man to marry. So January sent him off to find for him a wife, a woman still in blossom and not ripened like a cherry. A girl of 20 years was found, and its lady's name was May. Quickly they were joined together, now one in holy matrimony. Damien was amazed by the young maid's weather. He was a servant for January and watched their ceremony. Venus struck him and he fell hard. Now the man and the boy had both fallen deep in love. A conflict between slave and master, sure to leave their hearts in shards. On the night of their wedding, the two lovers became one, but as they made love inside their room, outside their door, a man was there comparing May's beauty to the sun. This man was Squire Damien, whose pacing crossed the floor. My dearest May, you make falling in love seem like a habit. First you captured January's, and now you own my heart. If I could have my way, then we would both turn into rabbits, for it is the months after the first that they do join their parts. Though I am just a squire and he's a handsome knight, I hope that you will see me soon and fall in love with me. I hope one day it will be me asleep with you at night. I hope instead of you and him, you and me will be. In the morning, Sir January was angry, mad, and scorning, for his squire Damien was nowhere to be seen. He was informed that he was sick, and his days they were all scoring. At this news he sent his wife to be his squire's dean. When she arrived later that night, her heart was filled with mourning. The young man laid halfway in life and also in the grave. As she came near, in her purse he slipped her his love song. When she read it later on, she became her husband's knave. She fell in love with Damien, and when he again was strong, they submitted to their lust and were each other's slave. Summertime had arrived, and the knight had built a garden. He told his wife that it was theirs, been forged as you and me. And at this time he had gone blind, and now May would have no pardon. Instead, he would hold to her hand to walk to his pear trees. His blindness made it difficult for May and her slave to meet, so she planned to give Damien another garden key. So when the tree waited the eager Damien, beneath leaves, May told her knight that she wished to eat a pear. So she climbed onto his back and climbed up like a simian, and January waited while the two made love up there. Pluto detested women when he saw this awful act. Persephone, his wife, called his words untrue. He decided with January he would make a pact so that he could see this awfulness too. Persephone chose to give a gift to May, as she only did what men would often do. She said that women should have their way and have men see their lies as true. But to his wife, Pluto did not mean to offend. He apologized and she made peace with him. But to give back the knight's sight, he still fully did intend, as a Persephone, as gods do not change upon a whim. January had regained his stolen sight. He looked up to see his lady, and his mood blackened like the night.
January could not believe his eyes. He saw his squire Damien lay between his lady's thighs. And ever thanks to Persephone, when he had asked her why, she decided to betray him. He could not see through her lies. It was to help my loved one, but ease upon your mind. I was told to fight a man so you would not be blind. But I saw you and Damien screwing in the trees. Why would I lie? It worked, did it not? Do you trust your own mind when you freshly wake up? Then why trust your eyes when you just stop to rot? Believe that I lie or just take my word, I do not care. But I will tell you again, we had only fought. A fog of silence had filled the air as January sat and thought. Her lies had worked and released his despair. He forgave her and asked more he did not. Instead, they lived on for the rest of their lives, constantly living with blood on their knives. The end.